Okay, I want to try to do these weekly videos, and this week I figured I'd talk about YouTube thumbnails. This isn't really anything thought out or deep, and I'm not really looking to give anyone advice. Just kind of wanting to share some thoughts I have, because I think thumbnails, like, it's something that fascinates me so much. Like, basically, what makes an interesting thumbnail? And, you know, So for my other project, I just call it Project Bugaboo. It's something that I keep anonymous. I keep disconnected from this channel. But for that, I considered just commissioning people to do the thumbnails. Like I would just let them watch the videos and then see if they would come up with a design that I liked. And I still might do that at some point by using a site like Fiverr. I don't know if I mentioned that. Um, But when I look at a lot of the listings, I really hate the designs. It's really the stereotypical um, kind of like bright colors, big capitalized text, and someone with some dumb kind of shocked expression, and that's like the majority of the designs. And I don't know why I'm just sort of I kind of got done working out, so I feel a little bit like I need to catch my breath. But like I hate that look, and I think the assumption is that that's what makes a good thumbnail design. And I do know some people who are basically of that opinion, and I can't say they're wrong in all cases, but really my opinion of what makes a good thumbnail is, excuse me, it's basically like, well, whatever gets views. You know, there's so many different videos with different thumbnails that end up accumulating views. I mean, especially if you're talking about meme videos and comedic videos, like that thumbnail design certainly isn't the way to go. Sometimes those can have, like, comedic videos can have like a low quality, they can have really dull colors, and they just kind of have some goofy face that just uh, like captures something. And you read the title and you'll look at the thumbnail and you just end up clicking on it because you kind of want to see what it's about. And then there are others that definitely use the more standard approach. I would say these are a lot of maybe like video essays and certainly news channels. Like if you're talking about, uh, probably people like Tim Pool and the Young Turks. I'm not too familiar with either of them. I don't follow the news at all. I hate politics, but I'm kind of aware of them, and I think they'll use that style for their thumbnails, where they'll kind of have some kind of like capitalized text on one side and like a striking image, and maybe they'll add a lot of dark effects around the text. So I guess it is a little bit different than the really bright sort of candy looking thumbnails, but it's still that idea of, here's a striking image and here's text telling you what the video's about. And I think for that kind of audience, that does probably work. But that's only a small fraction of the videos on YouTube. Um, there are a lot of people who do video essays, because that's what I mentioned. And sometimes they'll do the style I've been talking about. But other times, they'll just have like a really interesting image, and the image just like it makes you want to click on the video, especially the image combined with the title, which is something I've kind of been beating around, but I think that's a core component of it too, because if you were just seeing a lot of these images on their own, would they be as interesting to you? Like, especially as kind of an artsy person, um, you might think, well, the art should be good enough in itself to kind of get people to click on it. But whether you like it or not, that the title is going to have a lot to do with whether or not someone clicks on the video. I think the title and the image and that combination, sometimes maybe even the juxtaposition of the two, could really drive people to the video. One that I think's a great example is this guy called David Hoffman. He's a like a documentary filmmaker, and a lot of what he does on YouTube is like what are clearly like long form interviews that he sort of spliced a little bit. Well, I guess I don't know how much he splices them, but they seem to be spliced up and maybe put into 10 to sometimes 40 to sometimes hour 20-minute long format. And there's this one really good one where it's this Vietnam vet talking about his experience, and it's the title for a while was "Magnificent Storyteller Reveals What He Saw in Vietnam" or something like that. And um, it was just like it ended up getting millions of views. I think it's definitely one of his most viewed videos. Even if you don't know David Hoffman, you might just know that video. And to me, that's really interesting. Why did people click on that? Was it just the algorithm showing more people that video, or was it that a lot of his videos were being shown at different points and that was the one people just clicked on? I mean, that's another interesting, once again, kind of trying to catch my breath here. I guess I'm maybe kind of talking fast too. That might have something to do with it. Um, you never know exactly how many people are seeing your video, what videos they're seeing them on. And if you are to try to figure this stuff out, you might have to look really deep into the analytics of your videos just to, try to figure that out. So, you might have the best thumbnail title combination in the world, but if no one's seeing that, it doesn't really matter. So I think it's a really interesting topic though. And like I said, I think you kind of have that template of the bright colors and you put text in your title of the video. And even though it's something I don't like, I will kind of concede that if you have no better ideas, that might be a good thing to go with. But to me, the best um, thumbnails are really the ones that can kind of just capture something and intrigue you with something simple, with the least words possible. But even as I think about that, I mean, it's just so hard to say what makes a good thumbnail because it really depends on what you're doing. Like, for what I'm doing, having a really elaborate, cool looking thumbnail or something really artistically profound would be a waste because all you're just going to do is come and watch some guy in a gray shirt sit in his car and talk about a video. Like, whatever thumbnail is auto generated by YouTube is probably going to be more representative because you also have to think about like if people are going to click your video and the thumbnail doesn't represent it in any way, they're not going to respond well to it. And there was someone else I was thinking of who basically I think that is good. It's a totally valid approach sometimes to just have something really mundane, a thumbnail that is just picked from the video because there was one channel I was thinking of where it's basically a guy who talks about prepping and living off the grid. I think that's a little bit more specifically what he does. And most of his thumbnails are just like images of him, outside or in his workshop or something. And granted, the guy doesn't have the biggest channel in the world, but I see that as totally fine for what he's doing. I don't think always having the most edited and sleek looking thumbnail design is always the best. With that said, I obviously have no idea what is the best thumbnail because, I mean, this isn't the only channel I've ever run, but not even the ones I've run in the past have gotten like huge. I'd wonder though if even the people who have some of the really big channels, if they even know what exactly they did with their thumbnails and their titles and that end of the video, the meta aspect of the video, would they even know what they did that attracted people to the video? Because if you can sort of get a certain amount of success, well, let's say by chance you get lucky and you get a big amount of success and people just know your name and they really like you, you can sort of do whatever you want, really, and people are going to watch it. I mean, the example is I heard someone else use in regards to music is like the Beatles. They were able to do Sgt. Pepper's and their goofy psychedelic albums later in their career, but that was because they were already the Beatles. If they started with that, people probably wouldn't have responded very well to it. But this is a topic I want to revisit at some point. I would like to do actual research on it. Right now on the other channel, Project Bugaboo, I'm thinking about revamping our thumbnail templates because we're currently going with one, and I just want to see if we go with a different template, can we basically get better impressions? And that is, I could be wrong about this, but I think impressions is when basically if people are seeing your thumbnail or your video off to the side and related, how many of them see it and end up clicking on it versus, just ignoring it, basically. So I want to see if I can increase our impression rate on that channel. But I guess I'll have some more updates, maybe on that channel, maybe on anything with this, and with thumbnail design and just this YouTube stuff, and some other video. I do want to kind of like to do these videos weekly, and I definitely want to do some more music. I just haven't got around to doing it. I have a lot of projects going on, but I've just been really busy lately. It was even hard to get this video together, but that's all I have to say for now.